Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Marlon Smith here, and I am so excited. Money management with the real money coach. My goodness, we are doing great things. And I tell you, we started this on April 2nd. And what's been happening is the responses have been just so incredible. So I want you right now just to type in where you're watching from, because, we've had international guests join us. We've had people all throughout the United States, and it's a family affair. One of the things I want to start off with, this is really wonderful. Check this out. We had people are just really enjoying these real money coach sessions. And I wanted to share a testimony that just came in. It said, "Good morning. I have a webinar already on Saturday, or I would be on your call. I have been inviting people to register. What you are all doing is amazing. Keep pushing our people to be great. Have a great day." And so I just want to say thank you. Thank you for the feedback. Thank you for the love that we've been receiving. And, one of the things that's so powerful is, we are really becoming like a family. We got Brother Day, Massachusetts. I can always count on this brother. He is always there. He's prompt. He's on time. And so thank you, Brother Day, for being here. And so who else is on? Please go ahead and type in the chat box who else is here, because I just want to do a quick recap of what we've done so far. And it's been really, really wonderful from the standpoint that, when you think about it, I know COVID-19 has turned things upside down. Our special guest, she's back again by popular demand. People are like, "Yo, we want Michelle. We want." Okay, let me calm down. But I'm excited. I love Thursday night, right? I love it because we just come together, we're sharing, and, I cannot wait until we have a reunion. Where we all just come together and we just like, "Yo, what's up?" Because, these virtual connections, it's phenomenal. And so one of the things I want you to understand that we started this, Tony Jackson is just phenomenal, and you'll feel his passion, his energy, and his commitment to making a difference. And when COVID-19 really, just took over and these stay-at-home orders and people were like stressing, and, Tony said, "Marlon, we got to do something." And I was like, "Yo, yes, we do." And so April 2nd, we kicked off our first town hall, session, right? Virtual town hall meeting. And we had Michael Harden from Anaco come. And that was phenomenal. People are still talking about that because a lot of people have seen their stock portfolio, just, lose 24, 29%. And so we shared some solutions. And then, we had, they talked about the CARES Act and stimulus package. And we had the young lady, who's here by popular demand, who's really going to really just tear it up again. And Michelle's going to be talking about just information on money management, right? Because now, some of us have received those stimulus or PPP checks or whatnot. And, we got to really talk about how do we grow through COVID-19. But what she talked about previously was, the stimulus package and, how to be prepared and so on and so forth. And then we had Mary Nicole Douglas on, right? Talking about the taxes, right? CPA doing wonderful things. And it was really wonderful having her. And then we had Gibby, who is the director of Mecklenburg County health department here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And she really talked about, the health issues, right? I mean, COVID-19, there was a lot of different rumors, some false things being, circulated. So we brought her on to really, hey, let's get clear on, how serious is this pandemic and what are some solutions? And then we had Eugene Mitchell, right, from a gentleman who was, at New York Life, who had basically an initiative, $10 billion initiative, to really get, people of color with life insurance, right? Because that 64% of wealth transfer comes through, strategic life insurance. I mean, this is how, a lot of wealthy families create generational wealth. So again, that was powerful. And then last week we had, Dr. George Fraser on, and, he rocked the house, and, just people were like, "Wow, this was amazing." So I want you to tell me right now, which show, I know it's a lot that we've been doing, but please go ahead. And I see we got a whole, people all over the United States, and welcome. But what have you enjoyed the most about our program, please just type it in the chat box. Would love to hear, was there a particular episode that you loved? Was there a particular, topic? Was there a particular, guest speaker? Type it in the chat box. I would love to see. So we got Yvonne here, and Evelyn, and Anita, and Alice, and Dr. Harris. She's always here. So thankful to have you here. But go ahead and type in the chat box. What have you enjoyed so far? Time flies when you're having a great time. And so really I'm excited. And one of the things that we are really committed to is, we have these, special Thursday night programs, but we also, Saturday morning, 11 a.m., we have a complimentary wealth building webinar series. And so we invite you to come join us for that as well, because I'm telling you, you can never start too early. And this is a family affair. We invite you to, have your children come. It's from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. noon. And every Saturday, and we're talking about financial psychology. We're talking about budget. We're talking about credit. We're talking about insurance. We're talking about retirement. We're talking about real estate. We're talking about entrepreneurship. It's phenomenal. So you definitely want to come check that out. And you go to, The Real Money Coach, where you are right now, Facebook Live, and that's at 11 a.m. And really, really phenomenal. And then next Thursday, just want to give a little precursor. We're going to be talking about, credit, how to build your credit score, and so on and so forth. So again, what have you enjoyed so far? And if you have any topics that you would like for us to cover, we're all about bringing thought leaders, individuals that are really, committed to making a difference. We're committed to bring you the best of the best. So if you have any particular subjects or topics or thought leaders that you'd like for us to, feature on the Real Money Coach virtual town hall discussion, let us know. And so I see we've got, wow, this is great. My brother James is on. I mean, James is phenomenal. This brother really has, and again, I want you to understand, and we give shout outs to people because we want you to understand each one of us has a purpose. Each one of us has a reason for being on this earth. And one of the things my mom used to always tell me, baby, either you're the solution or you part of the problem. And I remember forgetting, she was like, don't complain. I need a solution. And so James in particular, he was like, a lot of, fathers, right? Let's just be real. A lot of fathers are doing the right thing. And so, James has an initiative. He has a movement, bringing fathers together, celebrating. He told me, I called him today, and he said, Marlon, man, we had all these fathers out at a church. We were just, helping give out food because a lot of people are hurting. And I just want to give a shout out to James. And, James, you can type in the chat box, the organization's name and so on and so forth, because again, we're all in this together. Okay. And so that's the power of unity. That's the power of these programs. We're just coming together and we have some good news, right? Inspirational information, because when you watch the news, right, it can be a lot of negativity. And so I'm excited because we got a success story that we'll be bringing up on this show, and you're going to be really excited. So I see we got Dr. Harris. She says, insurance and other products have been great for me, but so many of the classes have been so helpful. Thank you, Dr. Harris. That means a lot to us. Right? Because again, we're just pouring into people. And again, for those of you that have not seen some of our previous episodes, you can go to YouTube, The Real Money Coach, right? Or, better yet, send us an email, info@therealmoneycoach.com, or you can go to www.therealmoneycoach.com to be really connected with us. All right. So there you go. info@therealmoneycoach.com. And we'd love to hear your comments, right? What's resonated with you? What's your success story? We said, we want to include a new segment called, the Success Corner, right? And that's what we've got where, today we have a very phenomenal individual who just really took it upon himself to say, what's happened, with COVID-19, I'm not going to be a victim. I'm going to step up and be victorious. And that, we're so excited about. I'm not going to steal the thunder, but I want to say thank you. And I also see, okay, here we go. Yolanda, let me just get this. She said tax information and insurance But all of it's been great. Okay, that was Yolanda Harris, right? And then we've got Black Fathers Connected. Okay, so yeah, that's the Facebook group. You know, for those of you that are fathers, or positive fathers doing the right thing, or even fathers that just need some direction. One thing I talked about before, Les Brown says, you are the sum total of the 5 closest people in your life. So even if a father's not on the right path, connect him to this, right? Black Fathers Connected on Facebook, okay? Because just being around other positive brothers and individuals who are committed to their children, right? I believe we can help other fathers get on the right path, all right? So thank you, James, for being here. All right. And then Anita said, this has helped me to get excited and leaving a legacy. It's never too late to get started right where you are. Get excited. Thank you, Anita. That is so real. And so again, this is what it's all about. So let me go ahead and bring up our brother from another, because what Anita just said is something that we believe in. We've all made mistakes, but hey, Tony, is she right? I mean, what she just said, is that right?
On point. She's right on point, Marlon.
Why is she on point? Talk to us, man. I mean, this is
about leaving a legacy, because even the Bible says a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children.
Right.
And so we very much believe in leaving a legacy. And the reason why so many people, and whether you're talking about brown people, you're talking about African American, you're talking about poor people, the reason why we stay in that condition is because we always are starting from the bottom. And so by leaving a legacy, we call it, you can leave a leg up, right? So you can move up, and that's what it's all about. And that's what we believe in. We believe in generational wealth. We believe in entrepreneurship. And, I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Dr. Frazier unpacked it as only Dr. Frazier could last week.
Sure.
So we're not going to even try to go back and repeat any of that he said. You just got to go to YouTube and just search for The Real Money Coach and watch Dr. Frazier's segment from last week.
Right.
So we're really excited about this. We decided that we're going to add a new segment starting tonight, and we're going to call it Real Success.
Real Success. I call it six. Yeah, that's on me.
That's okay, bro. That's okay. We got you.
Yeah. This is our first time, and this is live TV, right? I like it. Real Success. And break out real, Tony. What does real mean?
Real. So when we say Real Money Coach, when we talk about real success,
right? Real
for us means, it's an acronym that means relevant. So it's information that's relevant. And the E is for educational. Information that's educational.
Yep.
So relevant, educational, and then actionable, which means that you can take action on it. And then L is for life-changing. And so that's what real means in Real Money Coach. That's what real means in Real Success Stories.
That's good.
So we're going to highlight people that have come onto our team. We're going to highlight perhaps customers. We're going to highlight, some people who've been here week after week, and let them just share with our audience all across the globe, right? So we've had people from South Africa, Australia, from Massachusetts to California, to Dallas, to Michigan, all over the world. And so we're just really excited about it. So with that, man, let's just move into this first real success. And this gentleman his name is Brad Hudson. Brad had come to event that we did with Dr. Frazier at the Park Church. He attended. He decided to join our team, FFS team, and also our wins and financial education team. And we have this little thing we call Quick Start, where you go and you do certain things and you can earn some money. So we want to just pull up a little something to show you what Mr. Brad has earned. And then we're going to bring him in. What? Is that a check? That's a check, Marlon.
Wow,
That's a check with $600 and Brad's name on it. So let's welcome our first real success story, Mr. Brad Hudson. Hey, Brad, how you doing?
Hey, how's everybody?
Hey, what's up, brother?
Just trying to keep moving. Keep moving.
That's you are moving. You are moving. Brad actually joined our movement on the 13th of April.
Wow.
On the 13th of April, and has brought 15 different appointments. His team has grown to 4 people already that have joined this movement. And it's a movement.
a movement.
It's not anything but that. It's a movement of financial education. And so I just want to ask Brad, Marlon, you may have a question for Brad, but I just wondered, Brad, why did you decide to not just sit on the sidelines and join this?
Well, you and Marlon both came to the Park Church and introduced the program. Dr. Frazier was there. The room was packed, and I saw the opportunity, excuse me, where I could make a difference in people's lives by just giving them some information that most of us don't have. And then along with that, there was an opportunity for me to make some money for my family. And I was in that same position as most of the people that I talk to are losing money, not having the proper amount of insurance. So when I put those two together, it was a no-brainer. I went out, recruited some people, and they're on tonight. Shout out to Tommy, shout out to Nita, and we're just trying to move forward. We're moving forward and capture this so we can promote one another.
Okay, that's awesome, Brad. I just have mad respect for you.
Yeah.
And the fact that you put your head down. And one of the things that we're really about is the education piece. And we believe that everything begins with financial education. That's why we're doing this live Facebook on Thursday nights. That's why we're doing the class on Saturdays and other times. And so we're just really proud to have you be a part of this, because we know this. We know that the harvest is plenty, but the labors are few. And we simply, if we got and started inviting everybody to be a part of these educational broadcasts, if we brought many people in to the classes that we're doing, like what we're doing for Nations Forward, and we can bring this to your church, just email us at info@therealmoneycoach. And so we're doing all that, Brad. And I'm just kind of curious, what are you saying to people that is sparking their interest? And number one, coming to checking out the show. And number two, having that individual free analysis Zoom appointment with us.
When I speak to most people, I try to make it short and simple. I ask people, do you believe in protecting your money? Everybody says yes. I said, are you losing any money? Everybody says yes. I said, well, I have a business success partner named Tony Jackson. Let us talk to you on Zoom for about 30 minutes. You may not like any of the information, but I can guarantee you that you'll learn something tonight. And then that's it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's just that simple.
Yeah. And what I love about that, Brad, is, people can feel your heart. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just even as you shared, it's coming from a very authentic place. And, I think for all of our viewers, one thing that Brad said is, he was sat in the audience and, he was inspired. And then what I heard him say is that, wow, I want to be part of making a difference. That was the key word. I want to make a difference for others. And so, I think that, to me, for all of our viewers, just realize that, we all, there's a purpose for each one of us. And once you can really tap in, and one of the things I really see what Brad's doing is that he's saying, yo, I want to help others, right? And he says, just give me 30 minutes. You may not even like it, but at least let me share. And so I thank you, Brad, because, man, that's you're inspiring.
That's
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So man,
info at The Real Money Coach. If you want to learn more about what Brad's doing and about what we're doing, we'd love to have a conversation with you. So now, thanks, Brad. Thanks for being on. Keep up the good work.
I certainly will. Thank you, everybody.
All right,
thank you, brother.
So Marlon, tonight we want to continue in this education format, and we want to talk about money management tonight.
Sure.
I want to remind people of our foundation, what we're calling, our pyramid, if you will, of generational wealth. Mm-hmm. And so first on that is the first level is proper management of current assets. And that's talking about financial psychology. And what our special guest is going to do tonight is she's going to talk about the psychology of money. and
Okay.
it's the same thing. And then we talk about budgeting or spending plan. So we're going to unpack that a little bit. Next week, we'll talk about credit, and we'll talk about eliminating debt the following week. And so what this is really is the foundation of intergenerational wealth. And all that is really playing defense, and all that is great. And then as we move further on, we're going to get into proper insurance and retirement. We're going to have Eugene Mitchell is going to come back and share more with us about his book, Closing the Wealth Gap. And then we'll move into real estate and some other investments. And then ultimately we'll finish the series talking about business development. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take a short break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to have our special guest of the evening, my very good friend, Michelle Mitchell from Mitchell Consulting Services. All right. And so we are back without introduction, but we have Miss Michelle Mitchell with us tonight, all the way from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Yes, there really is a town called Kalamazoo. And Michelle and I have been friends since we were 18 years old, met there in Kalamazoo at Western Michigan University. She ended up being a lifetime friend, my wife's roommate. My kids call her Aunt Michelle. Her kids call me Uncle Tony. She's got a heart of gold. And, you know, before when she's on here, I forgot to mention all these degrees. Michelle got more degrees than anybody I know, right? So she comes highly credentialed, and we're really, really happy to have you back. Michelle, how you been doing?
Doing well, thank you. Thanks for having me back.
Absolutely, absolutely. I see you got charts in the back and all this stuff. Man, you look like you about to go in for us, and I don't know what's going on.
Well, that's not for you. That's for my ladies in my Lady Boss group.
Oh, the Lady Boss.
Yeah, so
you can't be in the Lady Boss group.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
I don't know. I might invite you as a special guest.
we have to send a telegram, something to Michelle. Say, man, Michelle, please come back to the show. Please come back.
Right.
But
we're really happy to have you back, Michelle. And I think that you're our first return guest. And the responses from your previous time with us was just really wonderful. So I'm so grateful that you could make time for us, and I know this is really important. The financial psychology and money management, and so I'm excited to hear what you're going to share. I've got my notepad ready, Michelle. Okay, so I'm ready for you.
All right.
Hey, Michelle, last time you were on the show, we were really talking about this stimulus package, right?
Yes.
The $2 trillion stimulus package.
Yep.
Then they added another 500 million to it. Yep. There's a lot of talk now. I guess tomorrow maybe there's going to be a vote on more stimulus money.
Yes.
I hadn't planned on asking you, but any updates that you have you can share with us about that?
So what I know so far with the next stimulus package that's going to come aboard is the extension of the PUA unemployment benefit because it ends July 31st. They're extending it to January 31st, 2021. So what does that tell you? That should speak volumes. We are in this for the long haul. And this piece you're doing today about managing your money is really going to fall in line, because as businesses begin to close, what is your lifeline? You know, so we really need to focus on sustaining ourselves through this economic downturn. Quite frankly, will probably be a Great Depression. That's what the economists are saying. This stimulus package, once again, is what, $3 trillion almost.
Right.
So that should tell people what to expect. So our people, we need to get a handle on the money that we do have right now. And unfortunately, we need to cut away some of the excess that we spend, so that you can make it through and you can keep your assets covered, have insurance, things
Hold
like
on,
that.
let me tell them to cancel that Starbucks.
Right.
We're about to go get it.
Right. Cancel the Starbucks.
Yeah. Got it.
Yeah. Just, I want our people to be able to make it through and still have the assets that they have, along with, not losing anything, So the plan to get through that is to have a plan. Because those who don't have a plan, they're out there floundering. So I primarily focus on small business owners. And, when I was on last time, we talked about the PPP, and everyone that I helped actually got the PPP. But now, absolutely 100%, they all got it.
Okay.
Yes, they all got it.
Okay. I know you gave me some advice too. And
But there are some rules. The SBA has put in some rules on how you can spend that money,
Right.
and in order to have it forgiven. So when we come out of this economic downturn, we don't want to be saddled with the debt. So we need to spend the money according to how it's going to be forgiven. And then once you have your portion that's going to be forgiven, then you can spend the rest however you want, so.
All right. Well, Michelle, I know that you have some things dealing with the psychology of money that you want to unpack for us. And so Marlon and I are going to kind of slide off and let you take the next 10, 15 minutes to kind of go over that. And then I'll come back with you and we'll talk a little bit about, well, the traditional word is budgeting, but I like spending plan and you like success plan.
That's
so
right.
We're going to talk a little bit about having a plan on how you're going to spend that money.
Right.
And then we'll come back after you finish talking about the psychology of money.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.
All right. So when I teach about personal finance, I really, really like to go back to what is your money story? Because we all have a money story that, we may not say it to ourselves all the time, but we actually show it in our daily lives, in our daily activities. And our money story starts from childhood. It's the things and the patterns we learned as a child that develops how we relate to money, how we interact with money. If you grew up in a household where there was scarcity and there wasn't a lot of money, then, you could only do things when the money came in and then all of a sudden it's gone. Or you came from a household where every penny had to be pinched and saved. But what were you saving it for? And the communication of that to children in our community wasn't there. So our parents and grandparents, would say, save for a rainy day. Okay, but what's a rainy day? And when does a rainy day come? Is there ever a time we can touch that money? So we grew up with these patterns, and then these patterns began to show up in our lives as adolescents, and then as, young adults in college. I can remember being in college when, you know, you got your student financial aid refund check, and everybody around me spent it as soon as they got it. And I'm like, okay, we need this money to kind of live on throughout the semester, right? So why are you buying purses and shoes and, you know, things like that? So you may be that type of person. Soon as you get money, you have to go buy the latest and the greatest. Or you could be the type of person that you just don't speak about money. It just doesn't exist. You don't look at it. You don't look at your bank statements. You don't look at the receipts piling up. You just try to avoid it. So as I have been teaching on personal finance over the years, you know, it's okay. No matter where you are right now, it's okay. But you are where you are today because of the words that you have spoken and what you have believed. That's why you're here today, because of what you have spoken and what you believe. But when it comes time to change or to change our behaviors, sometimes we want to make a change, but the pain of making that change is too great. So we never make the change. But there will become a time when the pain of the change is great enough that you have to take action. So this is why I teach on what to do when you're ready to make that change, because no one can make you make that change until you are actually ready to make that change. And in the psychology of money, I've learned over the years, there's about 4 different buckets that people fall into. And the first bucket is called money worship. And the money worshipers believe that the more money that they have will solve their problems. So the more money you get can solve more problems. The more money you get can solve more problems, but you never end up with anything. You know, they are more likely to be overspenders. They spend too much. They may carry a lot of credit card debt. Money worshipers have a script in their head that they need to spend it, you know, as soon as they get it. So one of the actions you can take if you are a money worshiper, you need to take control of your spending. So therefore, having that financial success plan might help you. And some people think of budgets as restrictive, but if you think of it as a success plan on where you want to be in the future, then it's not that difficult to adhere to a budget that you made for yourself, right? Because it's getting you to your future goal. Then the other bucket are the money avoiders. So they try to avoid money. The avoiders believe that money is bad and they don't deserve it. They may ignore their finances and avoid thinking about money. It's just not even a concept. They don't even think about money. And they may also like give to others. So they give to others a lot so they don't have anything, right? So if you are a money avoider and you're always giving away your money or letting fees take your money, your overdraft fees, your over the limit fees, you know, your bounce check fees, because you don't pay attention, because you want to avoid all concepts of money. You only want to see the money coming in, the check, where my check at, but you don't want to pay attention to the balance in your bank account. So you would be a money avoider. So one of the actions you can take if you identify as being a money avoider is to automate your finances, automate your deposits. Your deposits go directly into your bank account, then split it off automatically put some money into savings. Before you even see your paycheck is gone. Automatically put money into your 401k, automatically put money into your IRA, your Roth plan, or whatever that is, or the UIA that Tony's going to tell you about, automatically do it so that you don't have to pay attention to it. It automatically happens as you're living your life. So set yourself up for success and create those automated payments. And then there's the money vigilance. Those who are vigilant believe that being frugal and saving is important, which I believe you should save. They may be secretive about their finances and uncomfortable discussing money with anyone, whether it's your children, your spouse, your friends. You just don't talk about money. And then, being frugal, you're always pinching the pennies. You're always looking for the coupon or the deal. You may not even purchase clothes that you need, and you wear them until they're tattered and worn because you're vigilant about money. You're vigilant about keeping an eye on every little single penny. So the action that those can take is raise the veil of secrecy. So talk about it. Talk about your money habits. Talk about it with other people. Seek out information about how you can express your money vigilance and wanting to save every little penny. You need to do it in the right way so you can actually see your money working for you towards your goals. And it's not just about saving every little penny. And then there's the people who use money as a status symbol. They want to be flashy. They want to show it. They need to have the name brand. They need to have the house in the right neighborhood, in the right community, because there's a status to it. Those people pay for status. And they believe that the things that they have are what makes people want to be with them, which is not true, but they want status in their lives. So, spending money on designer handbags and shoes and things when you can't even afford it. You may have brought the income in, but if you look at your budget in totality, can you really afford a pair of Jimmy Choo shoes as a graduating senior from high school? No, you can't. My niece did that. So those are people who like the status of what their money can get them. And the action step you can take is, if you hold this belief, give yourself a cooling off period before you buy something. So let's just say if you are out shopping and you see a handbag or something that you really want, why don't you wait 24 hours before you make the purchase? Because if you still want it in 24 hours and it fits within your spending success plan, then maybe you're allowed to get it. But if you just impulse buy all the time, you make a pile of receipts and you really don't have much to show for it other than having something that's name brand. So those are the four buckets that I like to talk about when I'm teaching personal finance classes of the different types of mindsets about your money beliefs. The money worshipers, the money avoiders, the money vigilance, and the money status people. And those things can, each one of those traits all on its own can hinder your success and your goal for your future. So we need to get those under control and get a balance of those in our lives with our
Michelle, I just love that. I just love those buckets. And I was, as you were going through it, and I was making some notes here. It's like, man, some people, more money avoidance, but it seemed like money avoids me.
Right. Right.
And so, but I think about it. I always say this: if you chase excellence, money will chase you.
Right.
But then, I love that about the cooling off period.
Mm-hmm.
For other methods, like if you see something at the store and you want it, now I guess it's online, right? If you see it online, take a picture of it, put it on your refrigerator, wait 24 hours. If you go back and you still want it, then, maybe give it some consideration.
Right.
And
And
so,
the other thing is to bring in an accountability partner at all of these levels as well. So tell your spouse or your best friend or your mom, like, I wanted to buy this purse so bad, and have them hold you accountable for what your goals are. Because when you initially start to make these changes, those impulses and those feelings, really circumvent what you really want, which is your goal.
and let me say this, because one of the things we teach is we teach this concept of a more knowledgeable other.
Yeah.
Early.
Yeah.
So here's the thing: if you have an accountability partner that has a bigger fetish for purses than you do, that's not the correct
That's not the
accountability partner for you.
Right.
Right?
Exactly.
So we got to make sure that we're picking the more knowledgeable person
Yes.
for ourselves as we go through these changes and we talk about these buckets.
Yes.
I want to make this offer for everyone listening, though, because you can pull this up, Chris. You have a worksheet and it's called What's Your Money Psychology? And it deals with those 4 buckets that you just talked about. If anybody emails us at info@therealmoneycoach, we will send this 1-page money psychology to you. You can do the test, see where you fall in terms of money avoidance, money worship, money status, or money vigilance. So again, email us at info@therealmoneycoach. We'll shoot you an email back with this worksheet so that you can actually complete it, and then you'll find out where you fall in terms of these 4 buckets.
Yeah.
So now let's get to the meat, right? Let's
Yeah.
get to the hard part. Let's talk about the spending plan. In our class that we teach, it's called budgeting, and we outlay 6 steps.
Okay.
And what I'd like to do is just bring up those 6 steps, get some feeling from you, because your background's accounting, right?
Mhm.
So you got a degree in accounting. I know
Mhm.
you got it. I sat right next to you at graduation.
Right.
Okay, so I know you got it. I know you didn't buy it on the internet.
No,
I know you earned it,
no,
right?
we earned that. We earned that degree.
Right? Me, you, and Lisa, we earned degrees, so I know you earned it. And so you work with a lot of small business owners. And
Mhm.
the only difference between a small business owner and an individual is that a small business owner owns their job. An
Yes.
employee does not own their job. Let's be honest about it.
Correct.
Because a lot of small business owners have the same problems that the rest of us have.
Yes.
And so I want to just pull up those 6 steps, and I'm just going to review them, and then we'll just go down through them one at a time. And the first step is to know your income.
Mhm.
And so can you unpack that? Why is that important? And then could you even talk about it, because you deal with a lot of independent contractors,
Mhm.
people that may not have a regular check. And
Mhm.
let's be honest, with COVID-19, a lot of people's regular check has just disappeared.
Right.
So let's talk about know your income.
Yeah. So know your income. Know how much money is coming in at all times. Like, if you take a look, get out your bank statements, take a look at the last 3 months of your bank statements, and look at how much money has come into your bank account. And then identify the sources of where those funds are coming in from. As a small business owner, our income fluctuates because we don't always have the same clients every single month paying invoices and things like that, or hitting the cash register. We don't always have the same amount every month. So we need to identify where our source is coming from as far as income goes, and then identify the percentage of the breakdown. Is it primarily coming from your job and that's it? That's all the other income you have? I'm a proponent of having a side hustle no matter what, because your side hustle may have to become your main thing at some point. You know what I'm saying? Whether you receive commissions or anything like that, maybe you're a part of a direct sales company and you receive supplemental income to supplement your main job. So you need to know where your income is coming from. Or does somebody pay you? Do they pay you child support? Is it consistent? Does it come in every single month to help you cover the expenses for raising the children? So knowing where your money is coming from is one of the key factors. Like, why was like, oh wow, that just showed up in my bank account. I didn't even know where it came from.
Well, Michelle, and that's one of the things that I believe in too. I believe in being an entrepreneur. That's why I'm so proud of Brad, because he just took a step. And so we just feel like everybody needs something on their side. Somebody needs something that they do on their own. I know you and Lisa were in Mary Kay together. Brad was a Mary Kay director. Shout out to Melissa. And so we know that that's important to have something that you're doing to bring that income, so you're not always dependent on that check, because we know how vulnerable that is right now.
Right.
And so the second part of it is to know your fixed expenses. And perhaps we could deal with these two together, knowing your fixed expenses and knowing your variable expenses.
Yes.
We kind of talk about what's the difference between your fixed and variable expenses.
Sure. Your fixed expenses are those things that don't change. Like, no matter what, it's usually the same amount every single month for however long a period of time. They're fixed. They don't change. You're committed to paying them. This could be your mortgage is a fixed expense, or your rent is a fixed expense. Even I would also put like utilities, even though it varies a little bit, it's a fixed expense. You can't live in your house or your apartment without the utilities, because you need it for heat and cooling and, water and things like that. So the fixed expenses are the expenses you need in order to live your life, fixed. So your house, your medical insurance, your utilities, groceries are fixed because you need to feed yourself. I don't consider those as variable. Those are one of the components of if you had to cut away all of the variable things, those things that you don't need to live, then groceries is not one of the things you're going to cut because you need to feed your family, right? Variable expenses are the fluctuating expenses. These are my shopping habits. These are, and to some degree, gas for your car is for you to go to work, transportation to work, but any excess, travel, that's a variable expense. Going out to eat, which is a big, big expense for a lot of people. And you've probably noticed during COVID-19, those expenses kind of went away, right? Unless you're getting DoorDash every day. But those expenses are variable. So you can pull those things out of your budget. Netflix, variable. Cable, variable. What else is, those little subscriptions that you are a part of, those are variable expenses. You do not need those in order to live. Your fixed expenses, roof over your head, utilities, transportation, and food on your plate, and medical insurance. Those are like my top 5 as fixed. Everything else is variable when you have to cut your spending.
Right. That's so true. It's just the variable things are things that you can cut out. That's where we can eliminate some things. Like you said, basic utilities and that type of thing. Now, not like cable. You mean you can't like get cable from the apartment next door,
right?
Like that. I don't know anybody ever done that,
right?
But you can't do stuff like that. You got your fixed expenses, are things that you gotta have. Those are the gotta haves. And we talk a lot about wants versus needs.
Yep.
In this particular time, this is a time where you're going to really divide the wants versus the needs. I may want a new pair of shoes, but I don't need it.
Right.
And just preparing ourselves for the unknown that's coming up.
Right.
Now, when we start talking about even fixed expenses, how do you prioritize your expenses? Any suggestions? And that's our 4th step, is prioritize your expenses. How important is coffee versus how important is Starbucks, or whatever. Just kind of unpack that a little bit for us.
Yeah. So prioritizing your expenses, like I said, the ones you need to live are the priority, period. Um, you can buy a bag of coffee at the grocery store and make coffee and not go to Starbucks and save your $5 a day. Because if you multiply that out, you spending a lot of money every month just on a $5 coffee. So prioritize, I mean, like I said before, keeping shelter over your head, number one priority. If you need transportation for work, that's a priority. Now with COVID at home, maybe internet is now a priority because now your work is at home. So you have to have internet and a phone line probably in order to stay at home and work. Putting food on the table and your utilities. I find those always to be the number one, the top choices for making a priority. Everything else is figure out, like, if you're in a situation between keeping a roof over your head and paying debt, if you're in that situation, you got to keep the roof over your head. So yeah, you can negotiate with your debtors at a later date and maybe try to get that side hustle to pay them back at some point. But those are the priorities: is keeping the roof over shelter, transportation for work, and now it may be internet, food, utilities. Those are really the top, and medical benefits, at the top of the list. That's what I think should be at the top of the list.
Yeah, and I would say even today, a priority is a nice shirt, but you can wear your pajamas.
Exactly.
Zoom meetings and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, as George says, I can sit at home in my bunny slippers.
That's right.
I got to put on a nice shirt at least. Even.
What? It's party on the top and whatever on the bottom, right?
That's what we're living it now.
Right.
Now, here's the thing that I think is so important: is how do you follow your plan? And we're going to unpack that. We're going to do 5 and 6 together.
Okay.
Following your plan and tracking.
Yes.
Talk about following the plan and tracking. Because I don't know that you really can talk about following the plan without talking about tracking.
Absolutely. Yeah. The things you pay attention to are the things that will change. Okay. So it doesn't matter if you're trying to lose weight and you don't pay attention to the food that's going in your mouth, you're not going to lose weight. Same with your finances. If you're not paying attention to the numbers, then you're not going to make progress. But your progress starts with, what's your goal? Like, what do you want? And then when you solidify what you want your life to look like, what do you want your legacy to be? When you discover what that is, that should fuel you tracking your money. Because if you're not tracking your money today, it's not going to get you to 5 years in the future to where you want to be. So tracking, like on a daily basis, I teach my business owners to have a CFO day. Regular people, you need a CFO day. A CFO day is a chief financial officer day because you are the head of the finance department, even if you outsource it. You are the head of your finance department in your household. So you and your spouse, partner, whoever that runs the household with you, you need a date on the calendar and then keep it.
That's great advice, that you need an appointment with your money.
Yes.
You make appointments with everybody else, right? You make an appointment with the dentist.
Yep.
You used to make appointment with the nail tech,
right.
pedicure. You had your hair appointment. You had all these appointments, but we don't make an appointment with our money.
Yeah.
So we need to make an appointment with our money.
Yes.
So that we can, and you know what? It's one of those things is, if you don't pay attention to it, it begins to feel abused, right?
Right.
So if you have children and you don't give children their attention, they start to feel neglected. If you've been married as long as we have, right? We've been
Right.
married to Tony. Her husband's name is Tony, by the way. That tells you how smart she is. Okay, so if you've been married to Tony, and Lisa and I have been married, we're going on now 28 years.
Right.
If I don't pay attention to her, she begins to feel neglected.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we don't pay attention to our money
Yeah.
starts to feel neglected, and it will start to avoid us.
Yes.
You'll be wondering where it went.
And it acts up.
It acts up.
It acts up. Look, this is how it acts up. You lose your job. Like you have more bank fees because you're not paying attention. Your credit score goes down. When you don't pay attention, those bills in the mail that come that you don't open, that's how it acts up. But who's the adult? Who is in control? You are. You are in control of your own destiny.
And that's one of the great things about having a spending plan.
Mm-hmm.
It puts you in control.
Yes, it's not restricted.
Instead of reacting,
right?
It puts you in control.
Yeah, but until you get self under control, it's hard. It really is hard until you get self under control. And then once you get into the habit, yep, I got that date on my calendar, and I'm having an appointment with my money, and I'm keeping my appointment with my money. And once you get into that habit, then it's easy. You always do it. You'll feel funny if you don't do it. It's like going to church. If you don't go to church, you feel funny, right?
Well, yeah.
So
absolutely. And that's why, even doing Zoom and all that, it's great. But we're looking forward to getting back into the church. Mm-hmm. So Michelle, again, you've been just phenomenal, sharing information with us. And what I really like is the terminology's been different, but the messages is the same. Mm-hmm. She talks about money psychology. We talk about the financial psychology, but it all starts with a mindset.
It does.
And so we have to start with the mind. Joyce Meyer, wrote the book, The Battlefield is in the Mind. Mm-hmm. We know that do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. It all starts with a mindset. Mm-hmm. And so we're really happy. Just thank you for being with us again.
You're welcome.
And I'm sure this will not be the last time you'll be on The Real Money Coach. So keep us on speed dial, save us in your favorites, and all that good stuff. We'll be doing this again. And awesome. So we're going to bring Marlon back on, and we're just going to talk about, what we got going again next week, Saturday. Really, today, Marlon, was almost like confirmation of the things that we talked about last Saturday at the Wealth webinar. And again, next week on Saturday, we'll be unpacking credit. What's credit? Your credit profile, how is it determined, and all that good stuff. What do you think, Marlon?
Wow, this is wonderful. Thank you, Michelle. Really, one of the things that really resonated with me was how, as children, we learned very early about money. As I look back to my own life, there were just certain things that were planted in me, right? What I saw, what I heard, and that's real talk. And I think that's why, again, this financial literacy program that, we have on Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 12 noon, and I just want to encourage everyone, because, you mentioned it, Tony, about, the battlefield being the mind, and how do we break this cycle? We live in the matrix, right? And, we didn't get here, just free will. I mean, I think we're being programmed, right? I mean, television advertisement, right? I mean, there's a psychology to this. So, I think to combat that is, I love, now I have the distinction, right? Money worshiper, money avoider, money vigilance, money status. I mean, that's amazing. And thank you for sharing. And, I want to encourage everyone to go ahead and send an email, info@therealmoneycoach. I mean, to get this assessment. And even if you think, you've got it going on, share it with your family, your friends. I mean, we're here to be a blessing to others. And that's what Brad is doing. Brad Hudson, right? He got information for himself. He could have just, held it within, but he said, no, I want to share with others. And so again, info@therealmoneycoach.com. Get this assessment. you know, and I think that's for me is the power of what you shared tonight is just waking us up to be more conscious.
Mhm.
You know, sometimes I think we're just sleepwalking. So, man, Tony, that was really great, man. And, you know, those 6 steps that you and Michelle just talked about, you know, I think it's really good. And you got to, and I think for all of us, you know, habits, man, you know, they take between 27 and 33 days to create a winning habit, right? And so, you know, and I love what y'all said about the accountability partner. I mean,
Mhm.
y'all got me so inspired. I moved to another room. Nobody called that, but you know, I'm just,
I know the talk is different, Marlon.
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Right. I mean, hey, y'all have transformed my life. Okay.
That's good. Hey, that's life change, man. That's
Right.
real money coach, man. We'll make you change your room, right? We'll make you, and so that's awesome. But you know, I just want to read this too. You know, from Evelyn, she said, "Thank you, Mrs. Mitchell, for all the information you shared. It's powerful. Everyone takes away at least 1 to 3 things, acts on them, their life can truly be changed." And
Absolutely.
so, and that's one of the things that we always show. We show the million, the parking lot attendant that has 500. You know, Mr. Earl. Mr.
Mhm.
Earl
500,000.
says $500,000 off of parking lot attendant salary.
Yep.
So you guys can go look at that. But the one thing he says, he was given the gift to be able to listen to people and then act on it.
Yes.
And that's really the key, is getting the information and acting on it. Knowledge is not power,
Mm-mm.
but the use of that knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
Right.
And so, awesome.
Thank you.
Marlon, I think you have something you want to say as we close out.
Yeah, listen, everyone, you know, tonight was phenomenal. And I think that we have a choice, you know, and as you heard Tony say, you know, knowledge is not power, information is not power, it's potential power. It becomes power when you take action. And so, you know, what Michelle and Tony shared tonight is really, you know, just groundbreaking. And, you know, and you know, that's the other thing. It may sound easy. I mean, it's very simple. But the thing is, we're reconditioning. I mean, I want you to really understand that accountability partner. And I love what Tony said, you know, look, you know, got to choose the right accountability partner too. Because, you know, you get the wrong person. Oh my goodness. Right. And, you know, you're going deeper into debt. But again, you know, listen, 2020, right? The year of perfect vision. And as we know, you know, write the vision, make it plain that he that pick it up can run with it. My people perish for lack of vision. So I think 2020, to be very honest with you, this is, I get it, COVID-19, I got that. But, you know, look at all the blessings. Look at, you know, we're now connected. And so again, stay in touch. Go ahead and send your email to info@therealmoneycoach. Go ahead and get your free assessment. In closing, we love to have you come this Saturday, 11 a.m., right? At the, you know, same Facebook channel, if you would. You know, we'll be talking about, you know, this Saturday, you know, your credit profile. So you want to be there because, again, you know, look at loans and debts, risk management and insurance, current retirement situation, investment in real estate, and then entrepreneurship. And so with that, you want to definitely connect with us. And I, you know, again, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. noon on Eastern. And that's, you know, this Saturday and every other Saturday coming up. So really excited. And I love what Evelyn just said, right, Marlon? We're reconditioning. That can be hard, even though the steps to get there are simple. And so thank you, Evelyn, right? And so with that, in closing, just want to say thank you. And remember this, you know, one thing that Michelle talked about was planning. And I even saw that up in the, you know, you got to know when, if you fail to plan, you invest. And you will plan to fail, right? Mm-hmm. So here's what I'll leave you with: 7 P's. Prior proper planning prevents pitifully poor performance. 7 P's. Prior proper planning prevents pitifully poor performance. And I say that in closing because write the plan, right? Write the vision and then execute. So with that being said, thank you so much for coming. We look forward to staying in touch. We look forward to hearing from you. And we look forward to you receiving your complimentary assessment that Michelle and her team have developed so that you can share it with yourself, but also, more importantly, share it with your loved ones, because we're all in this together. Stay blessed.